What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're reviewing a Lego Rubik's Cube. And before I get too far into the video, we are giving away two 13x13s this month. That ends July 9th, which is really soon. So if you haven't done so already, check the description to figure out how you can get in to join. So not very many things came in the box, just this little bag of parts and then the cube itself, which is kind of a base plate. So let's go ahead and assemble this thing. So I finally got those tiles on and this looks absolutely insane. Now, one thing I was actually super curious about was if the tiles were gonna be touching up on each other, which you can see in this case, they have gaps in between, which is absolutely perfect in my opinion. Now, one thing this makes me curious on is if I can actually bandage this, say I put a 2x4 brick across this, I wonder if this gap is gonna affect the sizing on that. And I don't have a 2x4 brick to test that out with me right now, but I guess we'll just leave that up to speculation. So we had all of these extra pieces that came with it, just in case a piece flies off. And let's go ahead and get into first turns. So right off the bat, I already guessed that this would be pretty difficult to turn, just looking that there's not a lot of gaps between the pieces to, turn this into a full speed cube. So I came prepared. Let's go ahead and put some of this in it and see if this helps at all. So I still know nothing about lubes, but I'm gonna go ahead and use Martian because it looked like the smoothest one I had. So hopefully it's not gonna gunk up the cube too much. So we'll just put a couple drops on each side and just see how this kind of changes the performance. 2 drops there and then 2 and this side. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and mix that up then just to get it all worked in. So I can tell you this is turning a little bit smoother, but this cube's just having a lot of trouble with locking. And that might be to the extremely loose tensions that this came with out of the box. And I checked and you're not able to adjust the center pieces, which is very unfortunate. So it actually looks pretty neat, all mixed up like that. Let's go ahead and solve this and see what we can do here. So while I'm solving the cube here, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this. I got this off of Amazon. It was around $10 to $15 depending on which one you wanted to purchase. And no, this is not magnetized, unfortunately, but I don't expect it to be for what it is. It's more of kind of a show item to have in your collection. So again, not magnetized. This cube's kind of been around for a couple years from different producers, but it's pretty much the same cube no matter where you buy it from. But I definitely recommend getting this cube if you're someone like me who pretty much has every 3x3 in existence, along with all the other cubes you need in your collection. If you're just looking for something more, this could be the cube for you. It's definitely another 3x3, but it's super special, and anyone looking at your collection would be pretty impressed to see this in there. And I guess quick final thoughts before I finish this solve. The Legos on here are not real, but they're pretty dang close replicas that you can hardly tell the difference. So not the fastest solve here, but it was definitely a super fun solve. It feels, I guess the texture feels really odd when solving this. It almost makes it a little bit too big to finger trick. So here's a normal Rubik's Cube in comparison. I guess if we're lighting it up directly like that, we're about 1/2 inch or maybe 2 centimeters for y'all overseas people. 2 centimeter difference, that isn't huge, but it's just enough to make a difference that it's a very odd turning solve. But again, this is gonna be something you're gonna have on your shelf or something you show to your friends or maybe have around in a cubing competition to impress people. It's a really cool cube. It's just not a speed cube to compete with. Quick checkerboard pattern. Super cool to see the contrast between all the pieces. And honestly, I think they did a great job with, keeping the pieces looking like normal Lego pieces, not using too insane of colors, but still pretty close to matching present day speed cubes. And these use more of a half bright / full bright, with the exception of blue and yellow being a little bit off. but they still did a great job matching this to a normal speed cube. So I'm actually curious, let's take a look at the inner mechanism of this cube. So as you can see, the inside of the cube is not made out of Lego. It's pretty much just a base plate for Legos on the outside using some center caps on this. Now the inside of the cube looks very, very similar to maybe an old Yuxin cube, maybe 5 or 10-year-old mechanism within this, which, you know, that's not too crazy to see on a cube like this, which is more novelty. But I think it's really cool that they put a speed cube mechanism, period, in a cube that's, you know, something that not a lot of people are going to be using in a competition, or, you know, it's more of a novelty cube to have. So very cool that they put more of a speed cube mechanism in that. All right, and the overall rating I give this cube is going to be an 8 out of 10. And now the way I'm going to justify that, this is not a speed cube by any means at all, but looking at it as more of a collector's item or more of a novelty cube to impress people, this is definitely going to be top of the list. There are maybe a few cubes that could have more of an awe factor than this would. I think this is really cool because a lot of, I guess, cubers are also Lego fans. So having a cube that kind of combines both, you know, that's something you're not going to see that often, which, I mean, this is super cool for what it is. If you made it this far in the video, comment Lego in the comments so I know you made it all the way to the end. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.